We're here with Jay Sell, who is Sumitomo Electric Lightwave Senior Director of Strategic Accounts. How's the show going for you, Jay?
That's very busy.
Yeah?
We've had lots of great customer interactions and lots of people interested in our new technologies.
And I understand you gave a talk on Sunday. You were an expert speaker in a workshop.
I was a speaker on a workshop panel, which went really well, talking about multi-core fiber adoption in the data center environment.
Can you tell us a little bit about why multi-core fiber adoption is so important and why now?
Sure. So spatial division multiplexing is a different way of putting more signals through a single strand of fiber. Traditionally, wavelength division multiplexing is used with multiple wavelengths of light to go through the same fiber, and then it gets divided out on the other end into multiple channels to increase the bandwidth. We're at a point now where the speeds are becoming so high that the wavelength divisions are going to start to blur. With 1.6 terabits, trying to put multiple wavelengths in the same O band, you cannot reach a long enough distance to make that useful. So the chromatic dispersion is becoming an issue. So in order to overcome that, transceiver manufacturers are splitting the lanes out into single fibers and single wavelengths. So more fiber is the answer to that problem, at least in the near term. So multi-core fiber allows you to split those physical lanes into a single fiber itself, which saves you a lot of space in the cable trays, underground ductwork, as well as within the rack. So this solution can really simplify your cable infrastructure as well as your physical infrastructure. You can have less underground ducts, which is a huge cost for building data centers and connecting them, as well as the inside infrastructure holding up the mass amount of cables and trays and having to account for that in your building infrastructure.
So we have always been talking in the data center space about doing less with more, about maximizing the footprints, right, at the facility level on down. And now we're talking about maximizing the footprint of the fiber itself, like one of the smallest portions of the data center.
Yes. So the AI learning data center models, they are increasing the number of GPUs tremendously. And in order to do that, they have to keep them all within a short distance of each other. So the fiber counts are going up, and any sort of savings you get in terms of space savings, you don't just take that and go home with it. You say, okay, I've saved this space, what can I add to it? So it's just going to keep multiplying more and more and more. The switch layers having higher bandwidth of 102 terabits per second at the end of this year, instead of simplifying the infrastructure, it's amplifying the infrastructure.
And what are we showing in our booth? Like multi-core fiber, I understand, could be any number of cores, but we're looking specifically at...
The industry, especially in the data center market, is zeroed in on 4-core multi-core. And so there's 4 cores separated by about 40 microns, and each core is a single mode core profile. So, and they are minimizing crosstalk. So even if you co-propagate your signals, you're looking at maybe 40 dB of crosstalk, which is very low and acceptable by data center transceiver standards.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks so much, Jay.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.